I have been every voice.
You are the chosen one!
Anakin! Anakin!
This is where the fun begins.
Inside your head.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Bad Batch and more. As always my dear Mandalorians, before we dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new videos. So without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. We have a lot to talk about today, but first things first, we've got a tease for big characters who will appear in the show. The first two episodes of the Bad Batch haven't wasted any time featuring familiar Star Wars faces. In the first episode called Aftermath, we got Will of Tarkin as well as the Kaminoans, and in Cut and Run, which was yesterday's episode, we got the defected clone Cut Lawquane and his family. But the big question is, are we going to see more important characters from the wider Star Wars universe appear in the series, specifically to do with the Mandalorian? We know that we're getting Fennec Shand in the upcoming episode, but are we going to see the likes of Grogu or others? Before I carry on guys, I just want to state, if you've seen yesterday's episode, then be sure to check out my full episode breakdown which I posted yesterday. So let's get back to this article. Recently, Jennifer Corbett and producer Brad Rao talked about the crossover that could exist between the Bad Batch, the Clone Wars, and other aspects of the Star Wars universe, and when asked about important characters who may appear in the show, this is what Corbett says. I can't give away too much about who you'll see, but we can say that anytime we do bring a character that fans know, it is for a reason. They serve a specific purpose in the Bad Batch's story and where they're going. Along with familiar faces that you're going to see in this series, there are also some new ones which we hope that fans will love. So we have a big tease here for not only new characters who we're going to be introduced to going forward, but also ones we already know. Now there have been rumours about Grogu appearing ever since the Bad Batch was first announced, and hopefully we do get him, because remember, this is the time that Order 66 has been initiated, and we know that Grogu was saved from the Great Jedi Purge, as we heard Ahsoka say in The Mandalorian Season 2. As such, it's quite likely we will indeed see the little green guy in this show. There are no specifics to chew on based on the quote that Jennifer Corbett gave, but if we had to guess, we could count on more established Star Wars characters appearing in the Clone Wars spin-off. Now, while new characters are a very important aspect of this show, Dave Filoni set up the premise of the Bad Batch to be a series for prequels and Clone Wars fans alike, meaning that inevitably some familiar faces are going to appear. Recently, when Katie Sackhoff was asked if Bo-Katan was going to show up, she went silent and smirked while saying she's super excited for the series. We also had rumours that Ashley Eckstein, who voiced Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, has finished voice work recently, and we know for certain that Captain Rex and Fennec Shand are going to appear next week and beyond. So who's to say there aren't some more major surprises coming down the line? But what do you guys make of this? Do you think we're going to see Grogu or familiar faces and important characters from the wider Star Wars universe? We're going to stay on the subject of the Bad Batch, and you've probably heard this going around on the internet, but Lucasfilm is going to change the Bad Batch to address the quote-unquote whitewashing backlash that they received. In case you're not aware, the reception to the Bad Batch has been overwhelmingly positive, although there are quite a few voices who've pointed out that the series animators may have changed the skin tone of the Kaminoan clones. As you guys know, all of the clones are based on Tamara Morrison, the New Zealand actor of Maori descent. Now, some groups of annoying fans on Twitter have realised that the clone's skin is much lighter in the Bad Batch, and many of them are accusing Lucasfilm of whitewashing. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I think this is an absolutely ridiculous complaint, and something that's very nitpicky considering the show is absolutely amazing. And it just goes to show that there are some people who don't even care about the quality of the story, the quality of the characters, and the depth that they have, and all they focus on is skin colour. It's a bit ridiculous, let's be honest. But now, according to a report from IO9, the animation team at Lucasfilm are making changes to the remaining 14 episodes to change the skin colour of the Bad Batch. Not only that, but they're going out of their way to add more lighting tools to reduce the brightening effect on last week's premiere. Am I crazy here, or is this absolutely ridiculous? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. I'll be interested to see what you think. Now, speaking of the Bad Batch premiere, something which really stood out is the stuffed toy that Omega found in the barracks of the Bad Batch, and it belongs to Wrecker. But this stuffed toy raises questions about Clone Force 99's origins and their past. Wrecker's stuffed toy Lula is one which he's very attached to. When the team escapes Kamino, he frantically searches for the toy, which Omega finds and returns to him. However, while this toy may be in the episode to emphasize Wrecker's childlike nature, it also raises questions about Clone Force 99's upbringing. In past appearances, the Kaminoans have seemed to be overly pragmatic in their treatment of the clones, even as children, but Wrecker's possession of a beloved toy to go against that narrative is really interesting. In the episode of the Clone Wars titled Clone Cadets, viewers see the inside of the barracks of young clones. The cadets sleep in bunk pods, and they have lockers below the bunks to store gear. In fact, when Cadet Heavy almost defects, the audience sees that his locker only contains his gear. This suggests to the audience that clones don't really have any personal belongings. In contrast, Clone Force 99's quarters are far more lived in. Instead of pods, the team has larger open bunks in a room with large window and a common area in the middle. Clone Force 99's room is drastically different than the sterile environment of the rest of the cloning facility, and their possessions may reveal that they've received some special treatments over the years, specifically the Kaminoans allowing them to accumulate their own personal possessions. The stuffed toy called Lula in particular indicates that the team may have had someone looking out for them who showed them a bit more affection than clones usually receive from their creators. Lula is a stuffed toy that resembles a Tuka cat, and it looks like it could have been handmade. Notably, Lula is Clone Force 99's signature colours, and its features seem to be painted on rather than being an intrinsic part of the toy's design. The importance of Lula to Wrecker becomes apparent throughout the episode Aftermath. When the team returns to their quarters, Wrecker first marks tallies on the wall to represent the team's successful missions, and then he immediately goes to his bunk and picks up Lula. Later, after the team's gear is moved to the hangar, Wrecker frantically searches for something, but while the audience knows he's looking for Lula, he does not actually state what it is he's looking for. This is a very powerful visual tool used by Dave Filoni. While Omega, like most of the audience, may simply have deduced the toy's importance to Wrecker, it may also be another indication that she has strong insight that could be connected to her abilities or to the Force. Overall, Wrecker's possession of Lula raises some big questions, and while these mysteries are yet to be solved, the focus on the toy in the first episode hints at its importance, and future episodes may use it as a tool to reveal more about Clone Force 99's childhood and their origins. But what do you guys think? I've always believed that Wrecker is the most interesting character of the Bad Batch, and not many people talk about him. The spotlight is often on Crosshair and Hunter, but I believe there's something really interesting about Wrecker to explore. What did you think of the stuffed toy, and have you enjoyed the first 2 episodes of this series? Let me know all of your thoughts of this news update in the comments below, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, do all of that good stuff down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.
You fellas must be pretty valuable.
We're just soldiers. The war is over.
You pull a job for me, and I get you money.
It might work. Gear up.
We're getting the hang of this civilian thing.
The Bad Batch, now streaming only on Disney+.